Allan here, coming to you from the Oscar Tortola Group. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you have big plans for the weekend as always. Today I'm going to be talking about common questions that home buyers have, not only first-time home buyers, but even if you've been out of the market for a little while. These are common questions that arise. Now, the first one is, how much money do I need? Can I actually afford a house? Now, that depends on a lot of things, financials, your credit score, how much you have saved up. So it really depends. My suggestion is to speak to a lender. They can go ahead and get you pre-qualified, pre-approved, so you know exactly where you stand, how much you can afford. The last thing you want to do is take a look at homes that are outside of your price range, fall in love with one of those, and turns out you can't afford it. It's really disheartening. So first step would be to speak to a lender. Second question is, how long does it take to buy a home? Now, this varies depending on the escrow process, how long it actually takes to find the home that you want. But once we actually find the home that you're looking for that fits your needs, typically it takes about 30 to 45 days. That's the usual time for escrow to close. But we can actually get it done as soon as 10 days. Just depends on the loan process and how smooth things go. So it's on a situation by situation basis, but it can be done sooner than 30 days depending on what you need. Another question that too many people aren't familiar with is, what is a seller's market? Right now we're still currently in a seller's market, so that means that inventory is low, demand is high, so there are a lot of buyers out there looking for homes. This can drive the prices up, but fortunately interest rates are still low. Now they are starting to go up a little bit. If you do have any questions as far as what the interest rates are and you don't have a lender that you know off the top of your head, you can always reach out to us. We work with plenty of lenders and we stay on top of the rates, or you can even look for those online so that way you can stay informed. Now remember, interest rates do depend on your credit score and the purchase price, so it's always best to speak to a professional to know exactly where you stand. Another question that comes across is, what is a stratified market? Now, real estate is stratified, and what that means is that at different price points, the market conditions are a little bit differently. So if we're looking at homes that are $1 million plus, they're gonna sit on the market longer, prices are gonna go up or down a little bit differently than, say, a $300,000 home. So it really depends, and that's basically what a stratified market is. Another question that arises is, how much do I have to pay an agent, or how much does it cost to use an agent to find a home? Now, it really doesn't cost anything, and the reason for that is because the listing agent from the sale of the home, that ends up paying the buyer's agent. So for example, we find a home that you want, we go through escrow closes, the money, or your agent, the buying agent's commission, is going to be paid from the seller. So in essence, you really don't have to pay. Always suggest finding a realtor who knows what they're doing, who knows about the area, and most importantly, who you're comfortable with and you trust. So if you need to go out, meet a couple of agents to find the right one for you, I would definitely suggest that. Another question, how much do you need for a down payment? If you haven't watched my other video on down payments and PMIs, go ahead and check that out. It's on my Facebook, it's also on YouTube, so you can go ahead and take a look at that. But more often than not, for first-time home buyers, you can get a home for as low as 3% down. Now, there are other programs as low as 0%. If you've already purchased a home and you're not a first-time home buyer, it can be a little bit higher, but again, it varies. So go ahead and check out that video for more in-depth information with regards to that. One very important question that I get from people, from many clients, is, do I need to sell my current home to buy another home? Now, that really depends on, one, how much money you have, your credit score, where you are financially. But even if you do need to sell your home to buy another house, it's not an issue, because we can set it up so that the sale of your home is contingent on you finding another one. If you have any questions with regards to this, you can go ahead and reach out. I'd be more than happy to go into further detail, but it's not anything to worry about. Many of our clients, that's what they've done. They've needed to sell a home in order to purchase a bigger one or a smaller one, cash out on equity. So it just depends. Reach out if you want a little bit more information about that. Another common question is, how many homes should I view before buying one? Now, that really depends on you. At the end of the day, our job is to help you find the right home for you that fits your needs, that fits your wants, that meets your criteria. So it really depends. Now, there are different ways to save time, so you don't have to look through hundreds and hundreds of homes. So the best way to do that is to speak to a lender, figure out, really think about what you're looking for in a home. Go take a look at a couple of homes if you need to within your price range to get an idea of what's available. And then from there, we can narrow the search so that way you don't have to look at 100 homes, and that ends up saving you a lot of time, helps you get into that new home a lot quicker. And one final question that people typically have is, well, what if I change my mind? Can I back out of the deal without losing my earnest money deposit? Now, as a side note, earnest money deposit is just a deposit you put forward with the offer of the home. Typically, that's from 1 to 2% of the purchase price of the home. Now, there are certain contingencies in place to protect the buyer. So, for example, one of them is the appraisal. So if the home doesn't appraise at the value for which you wrote the offer for the home, you can back out then. There's also an inspection contingency, a loan contingency. Those have different time frames. So if you'd like, I can go ahead and make a separate video going into detail with that, or you can always reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have. And as always, the Oscar Tortola Group is your smart choice in real estate.